Hello beautiful people, so welcome once again to my channel. So today we're going to be learning how to make this gorgeous dress with a slanted waistline. So please watch to the end of this video and do not skip any parts, and please like and subscribe to my channel. When you subscribe, it is free. You only get notification anytime I upload. So let's get straight to the tutorial. First thing, you'll be needing your boning. You will need your skein nets. Then you also need your wadding. I'll be creating my own bra cup, so I'm using the wadding. Then I'll use hard stay and soft stay because I want to create my own bra cup. Then I'll use same color bias. Then you need a nude crepe. If you don't want to use a nude crepe, you can use organdy nude color. Then you need 3 yards of duchess material. Then also this is the applique. So let's get straight to the tutorial. First thing first, I had to make like a sketch. Please don't mind my drawing, just a free drawing. So I'm just going to plan first of all what I'm going to be using. The upper side will be the net, the down side is the nude color. So I'm just trying to figure everything out first. Then my bra cup, I'll be creating my bra cup. Then the hand, the same thing, the hand and the v-neck, deep v-neck will be skin nets. Then to have like a slanted waistline. So this is just like a rough sketch, then plus the mermaid shape. So let's just get straight to the tutorial. So first thing first, you need to draft your basic body. So we're going to be drafting our basic bodies, not just the basic body, like a basic gown to the gown length. Let's just say gown length, or let me say half of the gown, my new length. It's going to stop at my new length because I'm just going to create a full, because the down part of which will be the skirts, I'm going to be using it to create the mermaid. So first thing first, from your shoulder to your bust point, from shoulder to your under bust, from your shoulder to your hip, from your shoulder to your half length, just going to mark that till you get to your nail. So from my shoulder to my nail is 34. So I'm going to mark it and then rule a line, and rule a straight line. Then I'm going to label all this, so I'll know exactly what I'm doing. So I'm just going to label them as shown. So after labeling, now is to get our neckline. So for the neckline, for the upper part, I'm going to make it wide. I use 4 inches width. Then I came down to like 2.5. It's going to be like a turtleneck kind of neckline. So I wanted it to be wide. That was why I used 4 inches. Then I'll mark my shoulder to shoulder. My shoulder to shoulder is 14 divided by 2, which gave me 7. I added one half inch allowance, sorry, which was 7.5. Then from there, I'm just going to come down by 1 inches. So I'll connect this 1 inches to the neckline, which will give me my shoulder slants. But first of all, I need to rule this line straight down. So now I can connect my shoulder slants like so. Yeah, so that's done. So next thing is to get our armhole. To get your armhole, you measure it and divide it by 2, or you use your bust 36 divided by 6. That will give you your armhole measurements. So I'm going to mark that as upper chest line. Then I'll rule. Next is to create my curve. So to create that, I'll get the midpoint 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Then I'll go in by half an inch. Then I'm going to connect and create my armhole curve, like you can see me doing in the video. So we've gotten that. So next now is for us to create this V, or this deep V. After the video, I noticed my V wasn't deep enough. So if you want your V very deep, I advise you go below your waistline, or you let it be on exactly waistline. So from that bust point, I'm just going to, depends on how wide you want it to be. If you want it to expose more of your breast, then you can make it 1 inches or 2 inches from that point. From that your bust point, just going by 2 inches if you want it very deep. And me, I don't want it to be open. I don't want it to reach too much of the boobs, so I used 1 inches. Then at that under bust, I measured half inches because I don't want it to be too exposed. So if you look at the dress, you see it didn't get to this waistline, which was where I wanted it to be. But if you want it to be very revealing or you want it very deep, please go below this waistline. Make it like 16 inches or 17 inches. Then from that my waist, my shoulder parts, you can go down by 1 inches, then you connect, but I don't want to go down by 7 inches, sorry, and you connect it to those lines you've created. So I'm just going to use the exact armhole. I'm going to use my exact armhole. So I'm going to use my pencil first of all draw with my free hand before I'll use my marker to create this. So I'm just going to be using my free hand to create that curve like so, then connect it to the 1 inches, then from the 1 inches to the half inches down to the 14 inches length that I'm going to use for my deep neckline, for the yoke, for the deep yoke neckline. So I'm just going to use my free hand first and do this. So if you want the space for this to be wide, please go in by 2 inches, or you can use 1.5 inches, but I don't want mine to be wide. That's for the net or the yoke. I don't want it to be wide because if it's too wide, it will be revealing the boobs area. So it depends on how you want it or how your clients want it. If you want to expose more boobs, please go inwards by 1.5 inches, because mine I use 1 inches. Then at the bust point, then at the under bust I use half inches, then at the waist, before the waist point, I use half inches. So that was where mine was like this. So I'm just going to connect it like so, as you can see me doing. So at the bust point was 1 inches, then close to the under bust half inches. Let me just say half. So that was that. Now I've created our yoke. So that was where my net, that yoke, I'm going to be using a net, and that's how it's going to be. So next thing is for us to get our nipple to nipple. So my nipple to nipple is 3.5. So I'm just going to mark my 3.5 like so. So I'll mark it till I get close to the new hip line, but I won't get to the hip line. Let me just say 22 inches. 20 inches. I'll use 21 inches. 21 inches will be better. So I'll mark it till I get to that point. So I'll mark it till I get to that point. Then I'm just going to rule a line. So from the shoulder to that line I'm going to create. So I'm just going to mark it till I get this like so. So now, since it's going to be like a waist snatching corset, so I'm not going to be adding allowance to this at all. I'm only going to add half-inch sewing allowance I'll use to join all this part together, because I want it to be well snatched. So at the bust point I'll come down by half inches. Then at my under bust I'll take 1 inches. Then at my waistline I'm going to take half inches. So I'm just going to connect it like so. So at the under bust I took 1 inches to the right, 1 inch to the left. At the waistline I took half inch to the right and half inch to the left. So I'm not going to add any sewing allowance because I want it to be snatched. So I'm just going to connect from the bust point that I came down by half inches to the under bust like so. Then from the under bust I'll connect it to the waistline that I use half an inch. Then from there I'll connect it to the down part. So I'll connect to the down part. So it's not close to the hip area, just downwards. So I'm just going to connect this. Then at this upper chest line, or at the yoke part, I'm going to take half inch to the right, half inch to the left. Then I'll connect it to the bust point. after connecting, next now is to get our round measurement, which is round circumference of your bust area. So take the exact measurements, and if you are not doing waist snatching, please add your sewing allowance and your joining allowance. So I'm doing waist snatching, that's why I'm not adding any allowance to this. When I'm cutting on my main fabric, I'm just going to add joining allowance, that's all. So at this hip line, please add your sewing allowance here. It's only at the bust point and at the waist point and the other bust I didn't add sewing allowance. So at the new point also, please do the same. Take your round new measurements and add your sewing allowance. Then at the hip point, do the same. Take your round hip measurement and add your sewing allowance. So I'm just going to connect all these points together as shown. So we've gotten our yoke, we've gotten our round measurement. So now it's for us to create the corset, because remember it's a corset dress. So I'm just going to use my normal freehand first of all to create that corset. So at that midpoint, the bust midpoint, I'm just going to place my tape, as you can see me doing, to get my left bra cup. So I'm going to mark my nipple to nipple 3.5 like so. Then at this bust point, I'll just, the right hand side, sorry, I'll just use my French curve and connect it to the yoke. So don't make sure it doesn't extend the yoke parts. So I'm just going to place it and connect it to the under bust like so. So I've created one part of the yoke. So now it's to create the left side. So for the left side, I'll do the same thing. I place my tape at the midpoint and mark my nipple to nipple, which was 3.5. So I'm just going to create that and mark it like so and connect it to the under bust. So I'll connect it to the under bust. So we've created our right and our left bra cups. So we've gotten our bra cups, we've gotten our round circumference or our horizontal measurements, and also our yoke. So nice for us to get the slanted shape. So for this slanted shape, you can actually just create your normal inbuilt corset, then do your normal skirts, then I'll make the client to wear it, then you just use the scissors to create that slanted stuff. But if you don't want to do that, then you just have to use this method. Or what if the client is not available? That's why this method is important. So next thing now is for us to extend these lines outwards, because now it's for us to create that slanted waistline. So at the bust point, I'm just going to extend it, the under bust I'll extend it down, then the waistline I'll also extend it outwards, then the hip line I'll do the same thing. So nice for us to get the slanted stuff. So at the waistline, depends on how you want it to be, how deep you want it to be. From the waist point, you can just go down by 8 or 9 inches or 6 inches. Then you connect it to the other side of the waist, as you can see me doing in the video. So any way you want to do it, it will work fine. Either you go down by 4 inches or 5 inches, depending on how deep you want your slanted waistline to be. So at that point, as you can see where my waistline was extended, I just connected it or marked it straight down to meet the hip point. It didn't really get to the hip point before I slanted it. So now it's for us to cut out. So I'm just going to cut this out. Cut this out. That's the yoke. I'll set it aside and cut my bra cups. And now just mark like so. So after cutting, this is how it's going to look. So this will be the center front. Please label. You need to label, because if you don't label this, then you have problems when you are replacing it to your fabrics. So label, so when you are joining it to the fabrics, then you will know which one is which. So I'm just going to label. So at this center point, please remember to slash this center front is open for the lining. So I'm just going to place this on the fabric like so. Then here I'll be adding sewing allowance, half-inch sewing allowance round everywhere. This is the part where I'm going to add my half-inch sewing allowance only. This is just for the joining allowance, so make sure you add half-inch sewing allowance. But if you want it very tight, then don't add half-inch sewing allowance at that waist point. But I did this, then later on I trimmed it out just to be on the safer side, so it doesn't get too tight on the client. So I'm just marking it like so. Then I'm going to cut this out. So this center front, please remember to slash this open, because later on I actually slash this open. So this is it on the lining and also on the fabric like so. So I'm going to join these two sides, as you can see me doing in the video. I'll join them together first. This is the lining and also the main bodies. So I've joined the main bodies together like so. So now it's for us to add our bias to it. Please, if you're adding your bias, do not add the boning until you are done sewing the upper parts. That's when you've joined your yoke to the down part of the corset. Do not add your boning yet until you are done adding your yoke and all. That's when you should add your boning. If not, you have problems joining it when you want to join your yoke to the upper bodies. So I'm just going to mark like so first of all to create the kind of slanted lines that I want.